Tonight, where the magic once happened, two Eagles greats in Michael Vick and Deshaun Jackson stroll into Lincoln Financial Field like it's 2010 again. The dynamic duo whose speed and swagger once electrified Philly fans, now calling the shots on opposite sidelines as first-year head coaches. Vick's Norfolk State Spartans are fighting to flip the script. Jackson's Delaware State Hornets buzz in at 5-3, trying to keep that MEAC momentum rolling. And here in the city of brotherly love, the friendship's on pause for the next 60 minutes.
The link gets crazy already. So now you got two legends. I mean, it's going to be hype, man. I think it's going to be a lot of conversations before the game, but during the game, we ain't gonna talk. It's gonna be heated because I know how he is and I know how I am. So it's gonna be a lot of energy.
We've been in the huddle together. We know we came back in games together. We came out swinging and smoking in games together. And so, this is an opportunity for us to really put what we've learned over the last, year on display. And I would say this, you can expect to see us doing this for a long time.
Welcome to ESPN College Football Prime Time. What's up, fam? Along with the Black College Football Hall of Famer, Jay Walker, I'm Tiffany Green. So much anticipation leading into this game to see these two Philadelphia Eagles legends take the field as coaches. Jay, what did you sense down on the field just moments ago?
Besides all the electricity in the building, you can tell this city truly loves both of these heroes for the Philadelphia Eagles, but they're in a different career right now, trying to coach and trying to establish that. One thing I saw, both of them are super competitive. They want to get after the other one. You can tell the competitive nature is brewing in both Michael Vick and Deshaun Jackson.
Part of the question was, whose house is this? They played together for 5 seasons in a Philly uniform, but does it belong to Michael Vick or more to Deshaun Jackson, Jay? We will have that question answered by the end of tonight's game. And certainly, you talked about the electricity and the energy just around the link. I mean, driving up, Jay, folks were outside tailgating. There was a step show on the plaza, a college fair inside. The fans, the city, certainly ready for this HBCU clash.
Hats off to the city of Philadelphia. They came here and showed out. The rain has been off and on all day long, but that still could not slow down the crowd for people in anticipation of this matchup.
Series history between the two, 27th meeting all time. You think about this Delaware State team coming in, having picked up a couple of wins, including that last one against North Carolina Central on homecoming. 62 degrees, clear skies for now. We hope it remains that way. Norfolk wins the toss, and they will receive to start things off after the kick from Patrick Fisher-Butler. It was Jalen White on the return, crossed the 20-25, and then he's brought down after that 19-yard return. Well, a slow start for this Norfolk State team, and we saw at the beginning of the season they went with another quarterback, but since then, Otto Coons has come in after that first game and has really stepped up as QB1 for the Spartans.
And Coons is a guy that can make this offense go. Despite the record, they've been impressed with the play of Otto Coons, a dual threat passer, can hurt you from the pocket, but really likes to run the football as well. And if Coons can get it going early, he's a quick strike type of thrower, that's the type of efficiency they're looking for.
With this Norfolk State team coming in on a skid, dropping their last 6 as the handoff up ahead and the run by Xavion Evans. He's met very quickly, but a solid gain after a pickup of 6 as Anthony Hebert with the tackle. In talking with the coaches this week, Jay, you look at this offense putting up 20 points per game, naturally wanting to see more under first-year coordinator Brian Shepard. What do they need to do here in this one after this second down play? Coons rolling to his left, has a man open, connects downfield with Drayshawn Kendrick, but a penalty marker comes out near the Delaware State sideline after the 18-yard gain. Let's await the call from head referee Derek Hatton and this MEAC officiating crew.
That penalty came in clearly after the play was over. on the Delaware State sideline away from the action.
Result of the play with a completed catch and a first down. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense, number 13, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. That is number 13's first unsportsmanlike towards ejection.
That's against the senior wide receiver, Cameron Thomas. And among the conversations that we had with Michael Vick earlier this week, he talked about the discipline aspect and how things needed to shape up a little bit more. And here you see him grabbing Thomas immediately as he comes to the sideline.
You know, when you talk to Coach Vick, he said he had to go through his growing pains and had to learn how to manage these young men, had to weed out some bad apples and get some guys that share the same mission that he does. And he also had a little confidence, like, you know what, Jay? We're going to ball out tonight. He thinks we'll see the best version of Norfolk State football this evening.
From the 35-yard line, on first down, the run, and swallowed up very quickly is Evans, as the extra effort there from him, a tough pickup of 2 yards.
One of the things that Norfolk State struggles with is controlling the line of scrimmage. And you see early on all the red jerseys getting behind the white jerseys on the offensive line. That's going to be the key. Can they protect their quarterback, and can they just win half of the battles when they want to run the football?
So it'll be up to that offensive line to try to protect and stand tall against that defensive front from the Hornets. Here on 2nd and 8, Thomas in motion, low snap for Coons. He's feeling the pressure from Jaden Mufflin, who made the last play, and there he is again. Had a sack and a half last week as he stood out in that win over North Carolina Central and registers his first sack of the game.
You see number 93, that's just an Olay block by number 55, Guam Price II. You cannot let a defensive lineman go untouched into your backfield. Bad things will happen, and the Delaware State Hornet defense made them pay.
Well, Brandon Blackman, the defensive coordinator, comes out of the state of California, much like Deshaun Jackson, the head coach. And here on 3rd and 17, let's see if this defensive unit can get off the field. One-on-one coverage and overthrowing the intended target, but a lot of contact there with J.J. Evans and Jadarius Perkins. This one likely to go against the Hornets.
Pass interference, defense, number 5, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And it's been early in this game, but we've seen Evans get behind the defensive back several times early in this contest, so you can tell there with the contact, and Perkins is having a hard time keeping up with the speed of J.J. Evans. That's a matchup I'm going to watch throughout the evening.
Well, Jay, that was fortunate for the Spartans, who were facing 3rd and 17. Instead, the penalty moves them to the 43-yard line and a fresh set of downs. Coons looking to his right, takes his time, surveys the other way, tries to direct traffic, clears out along that left side, has some room to run. And a good gain there on first down. It's going to bring up 2nd and 1.
And that's great quarterback play by Otto Coons. What you'll see about Coons, what he does here, watch when he leaves the pocket. He can decide to run early, but he wants to give time for his running back to be a distraction. Once he points to him to go upfield, the defensive back runs with the running back, giving him open daylight to the outside for a successful first down play.
Already graduated out of Columbus, Ohio, Coons, who has the Spartans offense into Delaware State territory. The pressure shakes off the defender. Biggs stays upfield and gets it out. And the pass complete to Evans and another first down.
Every play we're seeing Delaware State bring a 4th or 5th guy. So they bring the 2 outside linebackers. In this case here, it's just a matter of Coons being a better athlete than the blitzing linebacker, able to extend the play and pick up a first down for Norfolk State. However, you must be worried because you can't make a living off of your quarterback running for his life every time he drops back to pass.
Michael Vick, who was an outstanding quarterback coming out of Virginia Tech, and then obviously spent more than a decade in the NFL. And now his quarterback trying to run things as the pitch out to Jalen White. And White with the gain of about 4. So 2nd and 6 but you have to be encouraged if you're Vic and this coaching staff, because you're watching the offense move the ball down the field.
Yeah, they're doing some good things. And although it hasn't been pretty at times, they are becoming efficient, getting the ball down the field, crossing midfield, and keeping the offense on the field.
Quickly out the
Nice
hands, and there's Kendrick on the outside, and Kendrick on the perimeter, and he's being dragged down by Christian Garrett, who was on the back of Kendrick. And a 13-yard gain for the senior out of Lynchburg, Virginia.
That's a good play call by offensive coordinator Brian Shepard. Delaware State continuing to play soft zone coverage. Had 2 wide receivers out there to act as lead blockers for Kendrick to pick up the first down.
Played at William and Mary, spent 4 seasons with the Tribe before transferring over to Norfolk State. So 1st and 10 from the Hornets' 24-yard line. And Coons feeling some pressure, flag comes out. Coons stays up, throws it into the end zone, and it's nearly intercepted by Garrett. Dropped in the end zone. So a couple flags down. Let's
Personal foul, chop block, offense, number 71, number 22. 15-yard penalty, remains first down.
Well, the O-lineman, Jaden Chappell, and running back, Xavion Evans.
You see, they're both engaged. Actually, that's actually number 66, Vincent Bird. That was on the chop block. 2 guys cannot engage on 1 defender, particularly with the running back going low. Easy call for the officials to make. And now, if you're Delaware State, learn your lesson. Do not allow Norfolk State to pick up a first down by way of the penalty. You did that to them in the earlier in the series. Now keep everything in front and play sound football.
The handoff up ahead to Evans on 1st and 25, brought down by Samuel Corpoy. And it's going to bring up 2nd and 20. And looking at the defense for the Hornets, what must they remember here?
Well, you got the speed, so you have to respect the speed that you're seeing up top from J.J. Evans. So I would have a safety know where he is the whole time. They're trying to move him around the formation. And this is the time where you need your playmakers to make plays. Deshaun Jackson, your inside linebacker, has to read his keys and recognize not to fall for the play action. So this is play action. He's going under center. Going to be some type of play action.
Instead, the handoff, and a rarity, Jay, because we don't often see the just old handoff to the running back under center these days anymore.
Yeah, we talked about reading your keys, and that was Deshaun Jackson right there, who saw that they were going to run the football. He made the tackle. That's how you play the inside linebacker position.
Well, 3rd and 18 here for the Spartans. Want to keep this drive going. Cameron Thomas to the bottom of your screen, the leading receiver for Norfolk State, along with Drayshawn Kendrick, who's at the top. The 2-by-2 formation. Coons delivers, had a man wide open up the seam and could not connect with J.J. Evans. Missed opportunity there.
And I want to see how they sort this out, because Delaware State was trying to call a timeout on defense, and I heard a whistle blow. And I think Otto Coons heard the whistle blow as well, but they never stopped the play. They let them continue to play. It'd be interesting to see how they play this. I mean, there was definitely a whistle, and they were trying to get a timeout.
They're sorting it through. The offense remains on the field for Norfolk State as they're trying to get some clarification. Otto Coons is having a conversation
So now they're
with one of
calling
the
it 4th
officials.
down.
Timeout, Norfolk State. It's the first timeout of the half. Media.
So we'll step aside here with 8:19 remaining in the first quarter.
All right, let's take a look at what all the confusion is about down on the field where we think there's a timeout called. Take a look in the middle of your screen. You're going to see right here, this is Deshaun Jackson. He's going to actually turn around to the official and call timeout. A whistle comes in from the sideline to give him the timeout, which should have been a no play at all. Ends up being a third down negative play for Norfolk State, bringing up 4th and 18, forcing them to punt. Tough break for Norfolk State.
Tough break indeed, Jay, because they also had to spend one of their 3 timeouts, and now.
Will anyone with a whistle in the stands, please do not blow the whistle during play. Thank you.
They're trying to say that whistle came from the stands. Nah. Tough break for Norfolk State. We'll leave it at that.
So Marco Peary is back to punt. Standing at the 46-yard line, trying to pin the Hornets. This little pooch nearly went over his head. He was able to club it, bring it back in, control it.
What a play, though.
What a play by special teams for the Spartans.
Oh,
Peary,
they're
who
gonna call the
controlled it.
touchback.
Oh man, that was really close there to the goal line, but a touchback. A near save attempted here by the Spartans. And First Take was on the campus of Delaware State yesterday. Cam Newton, Stephen A. Smith were welcomed into the building to talk with Deshaun Jackson.
To give my young man an opportunity to be different, right? To be yourself, to be unique, because Deshaun Jackson, the player, was different. I was unique. I stood out. You know what I'm saying? So that's the biggest thing, man. Letting my players be themselves and not be a police, not be a father. You know, just be an older mentor in their lives. And I want to push them and help them get to the next level.
And that is exactly what Deshaun Jackson is doing, 5-3 overall on the season, but he also cares just as much about these young men getting degrees, going on to be great young men, and obviously he's walked the path that many of them hope to get to one day in the highest levels of football in the NFL, spending 15 seasons in his offense on the field, and quickly a penalty marker comes out before the snap.
Delay game. Defense disconcerting signals by clapping. Number 37, 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Well, Caden Bennett, who is the lead man for the Hornets out of Reno, Nevada, best FCS running quarterback. He can go. He's lightning in a bottle, but he also came off a really strong week, 9 of 15, 212 yards and 3 touchdowns in that win against North Carolina Central in their homecoming. And is Marquise Gillis, who has also been a major factor this season at the running back position.
And so everybody wants to know, what's going on at Delaware State? How are they doing it? How they pull the upset? They run the ball better than anybody, and it all's predicated on the inside zone run. They're going to test you in between the 2 guards and see if you can stop it. Offensive coordinator Nemo Washington says, hey, if they show us they can stop it, then we'll go away from it, but we have to wear down the inside zone for it.
And Bennett, who's looking, the pass complete to Nathan Stewart, and Stewart picks up the first down. And to follow up your point, Jay, best in all of FCS, 316 yards per game on the ground. That's an average of about 7 yards per carry, and they dare you to stop them. Bennett being chased, and good pursuit there by Dalen Long for the Spartans to push Bennett out of bounds. A loss of 3 on the play.
What's unique about that is, for years, the premier name in FCS football is North Dakota State, the Bison. When you go play North Dakota State, they tell you, we're running inside power A gap. You have to stop that. And so I think they have the right formula, along with their offensive line coach, Eugene Chung, another former NFL player that's coaching.
On 2nd and 13, a man open. That's Stewart once more. And Stewart, the redshirt sophomore, is pushed out by Dalen Long. But Jay, there's so much that this Hornet offense can throw at you.
Yeah, look at the protection. I mean, a little bit of penetration there, but that's a pretty clean pocket in an obvious passing situation. They're not able to get pressure on Bennett. This is an offense that seems like they're fundamentally sound, and they've got a game plan. There goes the zone.
This time it's James Jones. So James Jones and Marquise Gillis, you see a steady dose of them throughout a ball game. The tackle made by the Spartans. I'll say this Delaware State team coming off their first MEAC win since 2022. And first time they won in Durham since 1977 last weekend. Jones once again lowering the shoulder and the boom across midfield. And Tariq Miles again there to greet him. It's going to be 3rd down. And short, about 3.
Did you say they hadn't won in Durham since the 70s?
Yes, that is correct.
You talk about making an instant impact right away. Coach Jack has these guys playing in his mold. He wants a team that's tough, has a warrior mentality, and he's instilled that in the Hornet program.
And on the carry, there's Gillis, and the tackle made by Caleb Broadbent, preseason first team all-conference selection. Remember, he was the 2022 MEAC Rookie of the Year when he came into Delaware State. Obviously, he's played under multiple head coaches, but has thrived under Coach Jack. Once again, out of the hands of Caden Bennett, and Philippe Wesley catching that dart.
When you're so focused on stopping the run, look what happens at the wide receiver position. Look how much room that he has to deliver this ball. The defensive back is almost 12 yards deep because he's worried about backside run protection. Great execution by Delaware State.
Gillis in the backfield to the left of Bennett. And Gillis gets the carry, keeps those feet active, legs churning. And a gain of a couple, but a hard run there for those 2.
Now's the point where defensive coordinator Steve Adams for Norfolk State, you have to kind of show your hand. How do you plan on stopping Delaware State? This is 2nd and 8. You have to think that Del State's probably going to run the football on you. Are you willing to bring your safeties down to get run protection, or are you going to keep the safeties high and allow them to get a free running play?
Well, 10th play of the drive, quickly out of the hands of Bennett. Not a sure tackler, and Terrence Roan breaks it and goes for more as a couple of pieces of laundry fly out after that pickup.
Holding, offense, number 11. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. We play second down.
So the wide receiver Stewart was whistled for the hold. And another look here.
And probably on Stewart trying to make the block. You see number 11 turns around. They got him. That's a hold. Good job by the officiating crew. Probably an unnecessary hold. Nevertheless, they caught him. It's going to cost Delaware State.
So replay, second down here. 5 wide receivers, empty backfield for Bennett, who unloads it. And that's E.J. Core, Edward Core, with the reception. And inside the red zone after that 6-yard pickup. And Caden Bennett, when you watch him, I mean, he just does a great job in that quick game, intermediate game. They like to run a lot of tempo in this offense here on 3rd and 1 and under 3 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Can the Hornets convert on another 3rd down? Gillis. Not Gillis, instead it's Bennett. And Bennett, who fakes out everyone, including me, with the run. And the pickup of a 1st down. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 11.
And this is just a great decision by Bennett. Sees a defensive lineman at a standstill. He knows he can win that race, get into the outside to pick up the necessary yardage and then some.
So 1st and 10 for the Hornets. Gillis gets it, patiently waiting behind his blockers to run. And hard-fought yards for Marquise Gillis, the graduate out of Milford, Delaware. When you look at the rush numbers, leading all of FCS, right behind them, Jackson State, but there is a considerable gap there.
That's a huge
for
gap.
the Tigers.
50-yard difference between number 1 and number 2. And you can just see it. You know, you can see it right now from what we're seeing this opening drive. That offensive line, they're coming in there with the mentality, we're going to dominate the line of scrimmage, and the running backs play to that. The initial contact does not bring the runners down. They have good forward lean.
And jumping on the back is Jordan Harris of the ball carrier, James Jones. And that's one way to slow him down.
Harris, one of the guys that Steve Adams, D coordinator, said had to make an impact. You need to see him around the football from that defensive line position. And you can tell right now, sucking wind a little bit right now, as this offensive line from Delaware State doing a pretty good job of controlling the line of scrimmage.
Well, the Spartans made a change at defensive coordinator, electing to move Steve Adams into that position. They let go of their previous defensive coordinator.
Timeout, Norfolk State. That is 2nd timeout. This is a 30-second timeout. Media time.
And there's Steve Adams, who was the former defensive coordinator on the previous staff. When Michael Vick took over this season, he moved over to the offensive side of the ball and coaching the tight ends. But then Vick says, I need to tap you. We need something different on defense because we're not stopping anybody.
And that was the maturity of Michael Vick, kind of what he discovered as Coach Vick. You know, you got to make some tough decisions. And not everybody's meant to be a great coach. They have to share the same desire that you have and the same model for the program. So it's pretty tough for Coach Vick to make the change, but he's got Steve Adams now coaching the defense.
Well, Vick out of Newport News, Virginia, in that Hampton Roads, Tidewater area where Norfolk State is located, founded in 1935. They are searching for their first ever MEAC championship. And obviously, this is a building process for Coach Michael Vick, the staff, and these players. After the timeout, here's 3rd and 4 for the Hornets on the Spartans' 6-yard line. Back to pass is Bennett. He's looking, giving chase. The Spartans defense, and they come up and hit. Nice stick move there from Jalen Williams. And Williams with a great tackle that brings up 4th down.
Williams does a good job, but watch number 44 again. Penetration to the quarterback. He forces him to escape from the pocket, follows it up. That's good team defense by Norfolk State to contain a running quarterback.
So now Patrick Fisher Butler, the redshirt sophomore from across the pond in England, for the 30-yard attempt. It's up and it's through. The first points of the game belong to the Hornets of Delaware State. And the fans certainly made the drive inside the link to watch this HBCU showcase. I do. I do. Something is coming. It's impending. How about this dude right here, Marshawn Lynch, a.k.a. Beast Mode.
Hey, man, watch your chickens, man. just watch out for your chicken.
Incredibly entertaining, but a fantastic football player, and he's coming to watch some of the guys he played with and were in the league with around the same time, and Deshaun Jackson, Michael Vick, they were all in the league at the same time, and now they are leading these two programs on the field. First year head coaches of these HBCU programs, and it's the Hornets with a 3-0 advantage after that 16-play, nearly 8-minute drive by Del State. Jalen White sees it bounce into the end zone and the touchback. We'll kick off your Week 9 NFL Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Countdown Crew on ESPN and all the new ESPN app tools and gadgets. You know, I love that new ESPN app. They'll have all the early breaking stories, injury updates, and previews of each game right up to kickoff. You know, there's a big discussion about, you know, the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending world champions from a season ago. Kind of an unconventional season in some respects, but on First Take, they asked Deshaun Jackson just about A.J. Brown and the wide receiver wanting the ball more. He says that's exactly what he's been asking for.
Every good wide receiver wants the ball. Yeah. They think they're always open too, even though they're not, but they think so.
Xavion Evans on the carry and brought down, and that's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter in this Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference game between Norfolk State and Delaware State. Again, two former teammates
That is the end.
going head-to-head. And Michael Vick, who is trying to flip things around, had success here at the Link as a player, hoping to have some as a coach. D-Jack knows a thing or two about that. His team is up by 3.
SEC all day on ABC.
My goodness, this Saturday SEC on ABC college football triple header is loaded. Vandy in the top 10 for the first time since 1947, traveling to Austin. You've got Georgia, Florida, and then Tennessee and Oklahoma What a lineup coming your way. Arch Manning, is he coming back? Big question mark. Clear from concussion protocol, maybe? On 2nd and 11, and no room to run for Kevon King, the senior out of Chesapeake, Virginia. Nice tackle there made by Brian Bates, the TFL, for 2.
Yeah, they really want to get Kevon King off to a good start in this game. They think he can be an impact player from the running back position. Missed a couple games earlier in the season. They had a package for him that they wanted to see what they could do to execute. But so far, Delaware State is doing a good job on that defensive line.
Well, Brandon Blackman said that line was going to be tough. The swarm squad, as he calls that defensive unit, has made plays when necessary. And here on 3rd and 12, and good way to separate there from J.J. Evans to pick up the first down.
That's that matchup. You know, I saw that from the very first series. J.J. Evans can be a problem for Delaware State. He's had his way kind of getting behind defensive backs, and there you see a nice job of a back shoulder fade route. Evans has some tools. He's a dynamic playmaker. Keep an eye on him if you're Delaware State.
6'3", better than 200-pound wide receiver out of the state of Alabama. 1st and 10, Coombs out to the right side. That's Kendrick. And Drayshawn Kendrick is going to be tackled right at the line of scrimmage by Corpoy. Corpoy, who came over from Monmouth, an all-CAA linebacker, started 12 games. They like his versatility in this defense.
And right now, I'm trying to see the offensive identity of Norfolk State. And I think Otto Coombs has proven he's a dynamic playmaker for him, running the ball and throwing the ball. They're trying to force feed the run, but I think they just have to let Otto Coombs make the decision when to run and when to pass.
Coombs with plenty of time. And Coombs taking off. Once again, you mentioned, Jay, where he's been most effective here tonight is with his legs. Pick up a 5. It's going to bring up 3rd down.
That's what you like to see in a quarterback that's a dual threat type player. Coach calls a play, they don't fall for it, but he's athletic enough to pick up some type of positive yards to keep this within 3rd and short, 3rd and manageable.
So Coombs getting ready. And his pre-snap reads. The Spartans here. 3rd down, just before midfield on that Hornets logo. Swings it out and into the hands of Kevon King, and King was doing some extra work. The yards after catch by Kevon King.
Nice execution by Coombs and King. Outside linebacker is going to come. Once he decides to blitz the quarterback, that means that you're going to have a wide open Kevon King in the flat, makes one guy miss, picks up a big play for Norfolk State.
They call the senior Squirm. You like that nickname, Squirm? Yeah, move with it. Into the hands of Evans once again. So now finding some rhythm on offense. Gonna bring up 2nd and 2. And in watching Otto Coombs, how is he delivering the football?
Throwing the ball pretty well, as long as he gets time to protect him. We know that he's a guy that can make all the throws that you hear all the time in college football, but he can really deliver the football accurately. That's how he got his starting position back from Israel Carter, the ability to complete throws and to know when to call his own number. It just all comes down to the protection up front. Can they protect him in the pocket?
They hand off to Evans, and Evans up ahead and picks up the 1st down.
We saw Norfolk State earlier in the year in their coaching debut for Michael Vick against Towson, and even then they were still trying to decide who the quarterback was going to be and how it was going to work out. And now, one of the first times we're starting to see, like, this is what Norfolk State football is going to look like. They want a good bruising running back, explosive playmaker on the outside in J.J. Evans, and a quarterback in Coombs that's a dual threat.
Quickly out, and it's will look to be a double pass. Instead, taking off and running is Kendrick, and Kendrick opposite side of the field. And Kendrick was running 14-yard pickup there. started on one side and said, oh, skirt, skirt, let me go back.
Yeah, this was a double pass. Good execution, but he missed it. He was open deep in the end zone for a split second. He missed that. Coons directed traffic, turns on the Jets to the outside. Norfolk State continuing the drive.
Kendrick, whose father is the running back coach for the Spartans. Is Kendrick getting a breather on the sideline inside the red zone, 1st and 10. Coons play action, has J.J. Evans in the end zone for the touchdown. Spartans on the board.
That's going to be a problem. They stacked the box inside, trying to focus on the run. One-on-one coverage with Evans on the outside. Look at all the red jerseys inside. Just a play fake to hold number 7. Look at the separation that J.J. Evans is getting away from Jadarius Perkins, number 5. You're going to have to do something about that if you're Delaware State.
The extra point is no good, so missed by Evan Helfrich. Correction. And another look here at this connection from Coons to Evans.
Yeah, it's the execution. You see a good wide receiver that close to the end zone, strike down the middle. Norfolk State takes the lead, 6-3.
Back here at the link, and Norfolk State with the advantage after the touchdown to J.J. Evans. Jay, let's go back and look at that play.
Take a look. They're going to put Anthony Aber in a Brian right here. He's looking into the backfield. Once he peeks open here, you know what that does? That opens up this soft spot in the defense. That's the sweet spot. They know they got to get to the honey hole. As we run the play, you'll see him come up, peek. Uh-oh, here comes the sweet spot, fishing in the honey hole. Easy, easy throw. Nice design and execution by offensive coordinator Brian Shepard.
And so Norfolk State grabs the lead, 2 receptions, 34 yards on that drive for J.J. Evans, although Coons was near perfect, 9 of 10, 105 yards. Tonight.
You know, J.J. Evans, big wide receiver. We were fortunate enough to see a big wide receiver, big Hall of Fame wide receiver, Harold Carmichael.
Oh, yeah.
In attendance today.
Oh, yeah.
They're bringing out the stars.
Play clock down to 0. You see a penalty marker
Delay
out
game.
there.
Kicking team, number 19. 5-yard penalty. Replay. Kick.
Freshman out of Wake Forest, North Carolina. So Helfrich cost his team 5 yards. But yeah, Harold Carmichael, the Hall of Famer from Southern University, played wide receiver here for the Eagles. He's got a big head down in the
That's how
club
tall he
level.
was. I mean, he's the tallest wide receiver in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So he's next to Reggie White. So you got to show the difference between he and Reggie White.
And Samuel Scaife right here, the 4th, moving. And a solid return for the Hornets. We talked about the numbers tonight for Otto Kuhns. Both quarterbacks performing well, very efficient tonight. Caden Bennett, 5 of 5, 54 yards. And now he trots back on the field for their second possession. And what have you seen out of Bennett? What's your first initial read from him?
He throws the ball a little bit better than you would think. Looking at the statistics, you would think, oh, he's a runner, maybe an adequate passer, but pretty nice release, quick delivery, accurate throws. So better thrower than most people might think. But I still would like to see them establish the running game.
Marquise Gillis is like, I got you. He is the rock of this team. And talking with the coaching staff, they just love his attitude and his approach every day in practice. He's a guy that Coach Jack says, just, you got to tell him once, and that's it. He gets it and takes action. Gain of 9 on that one, brings up 2nd and short. This time they go with James Jones, and Jones, who burst through, the junior out of Baltimore, Maryland, with a great gain of 17.
And this is what you want, you know, inside zone read, pick a hole that you want to attack, lower the shoulders, and downhill running. None of that east and west running. They're going north-south, running for contact.
This time it's Caden Bennett who calls his own number, keeps it. And a pickup of 1. The tackle made there by Cameron Reese. Well, even though that Caden Bennett is nifty with his feet, the coaching staff also likes the decisions that he's been making this season and reminding them, hey, just take what the defense gives you. So looking, flag comes out, goes underneath, finds Gillis, who spins off, and then is tackled by Khalif Jimison.
Holding. Offense. Number 72. 10-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
See on the right side of your line, middle of your screen, 72. Tough break. Tough break. You see a hold there?
You know, you said you can see a hold on most plays, Jay,
every
right?
play.
Yeah, so.
And now, let's see, like when you're playing a team that runs the ball predominantly, they struggle in these obvious passing situations. But I think because of the improvement of Caden Bennett, that Delaware State actually has a chance at converting on this 2nd and 19, picking it up in 2 plays because of their pass attack.
Well, the play action, and it was thrown a little bit underneath. Nathan Stewart was the intended target. So another obvious passing situation coming up for the Hornets. First incompletion of the night for Bennett.
And that ball was thrown just a little bit behind. You thought Stewart might have been able to help out his quarterback and make the catch, but not able to do so. And if you're at Norfolk State right now, considering how open he got, you have to play soft zone coverage, keep everything in front of you, and come up and make the tackle.
Bennett, who's thrown for better than 1,000 yards so far this season. Feeling the pressure and the attack there from the Spartans. Kyrie Moiston with a sack. Loss of 5 on the play. And 4th down, sends on the punting unit.
You can tell they just reared back and said, let's get to the quarterback. 3-man pass rush. Great job by Moisten, winning his individual battle up top against the left tackle. Big play for Norfolk State.
Well, Steve Adams said outside of that second quarter and that loss to South Carolina State, he really liked the way his defense played, and they're standing strong here. And fair caught by the Spartans. Jalen Loudermilk after the punt from Dyson Roberts goes 38 yards. And how about from a blind side, Moisten coming to take down Caden Bennett.
Who poured into us, and then, you know, as players, you think back to, you know, how you got to this point, and then you start thinking about all the people who poured into your life, and, you know, all the mentorship that you had, and the people that really cared, and, you know, we got an opportunity to reciprocate that, and so, you know, it's a lot of things that we could be doing, but we chose to go down this route.
Welcome back here to Philadelphia. Michael Vick, who played 13 seasons in the NFL, #1 overall draft pick. Went to Atlanta and then came here in 2009. Forever grateful to Andy Reid. Both of these players talk about the impact that Andy Reid, their former head coach, had on them and how they've sought out advice from him since taking over as a head coach. Bobbled from Coons, who lets it go. There it is once more. And Evans had it, and you know he wants it back. It was trying to be like a quick connection like, you know, Victor Jackson. Remember, they used to do a lot of long bombs here in the link.
I mean, this is something that they have to address. I mean, I saw from the very first series, J.J. Evans can have his way with the secondary of Delaware State, getting behind them at will, just not able to bring that ball in for the big play. But they're going to have to get some help over the top versus J.J. Evans.
On 2nd and 10, they elect to run it, and the ball comes loose. The scoop in, and Deshaun Jackson, but they're going to say he was down.
The runner was down prior to the ball coming loose. 3rd down.
Let's see. Ooh, close. I'm looking for something to be on the ground. Ooh. You can make the argument that ball was moving as he was heading towards the ground.
The previous play of the runner down before the ball came loose is under review.
So they're going to take a look at that. Gregory Edwards, our replay official.
Elbow.
His elbow is coming, ball seemingly coming out at the same time, Jay.
It's like when you think the knee and the elbow are down, touching the ground, then you notice that ball's movement. Is there enough to overturn what was called on the field? I think the ball's moving right there. That was for the knee. We're trying to find the elbow. It's close, and that was Jadarius Perkins, the cornerback, but they brought in on a cornerback blitz that was able to dislodge the football. Was it enough? That is a very, very close play.
That is. Now, Jay, I'll say this. You have to have enough video evidence to overturn the call. So the ruling on the field, very important here, that the ball carrier was down. In your eyes, did you see enough to overturn?
Not to overturn. No, I'm not 100% certain. And I like to say I'm 100% certain that the ball was coming out before it hit the ground. I would say no. Could it be? Absolutely. They got different views that we aren't privy to have. See, the elbow's down, but that ball's moving. Every time I look at the elbow and the ball, it's like it's moving. Take your eyes away for 1 second. Well, let's see what they sorted out.
Ruling on the field of the runner being down prior to the ball coming loose is upheld. Third down.
Couldn't confirm it. Upheld. Norfolk State dodges one there. And that's something where you know, I'll call the game and say sometimes the worst thing in the world is not to be able to punt it. Punts are all right. You'd rather punt the ball than turn the ball over back here. So that same scenario, if you're Otto Coons, the worst thing to do would be to do an interception. Incomplete pass doesn't hurt you. Just make sure that you can try and gain this field position. Don't be too aggressive.
Coons going underneath to Loudermilk, and Loudermilk drops it. And that's going to bring up fourth down. So Peary will be on to punt it away after the Spartans unsuccessful in that offensive possession. And again, Jay, this 3-and-out allows Michael Vick to breathe a little bit easier given the fact that it could have gone another way. Marco Peary stands at the goal line, and it's blocked into the end zone, and touchdown. Special teams play come through. The punt block for the touchdown, and that's Amir Anderson who did all the work.
Well, I'll take that back. The worst thing you can do is punt the ball if you're going to get it blocked. Delaware State set up a return. This is not a punt block they have called. It's just a great individual effort up front as everybody else is holding the blocks. But a great job by Anderson to locate the ball, get the punt, find it in the end zone. Too easy.
Amir Anderson out of PG County, Prince George's County, Maryland. With a shift of momentum, putting the Hornets back on top. The extra point is up and through, and a 10-6 advantage for Del State.
Timeout. Media.
My, how things can change where Norfolk State thought they were going to punt the ball away and get it. Instead, fantastic special teams play by the homie from Prince George's County, Maryland.
rankings.
How about this? North Carolina Central was number 2 a week ago. Now they're on the bubble on the outside looking in. Delaware State, I see it, Coach Jack. He's got the Hornets playing their best football that we've seen. Coming in at number 4, I see you deep in the heart of Texas. Prairie View A&M controls their own destiny in the SWAC West, trying to make it to the SWAC championship game. That'd be something else. Jackson State, number 3, coming off the loss. Jackson State and Central both were upset last week. That's why we moved the Tigers down. At number 2, South Carolina State got off to a rough start, but they're playing good football. Chennis Berry has the Bulldogs ready to attack. And the number 1 team, whoa, Alabama State University. They lost to Jackson State by 2 yards. I'm not going to say 2 points, by 2 yards, and they just dismantled Alabama A&M in the Magic City Classic. Alabama State, number 1 team in HBCU football right now in terms of the power rankings.
Well, Jay, there's so much that can happen over the next couple of weeks to maybe clear the picture out a little bit more as Jalen White on the return, and Jalen White with some get up there across the 35-yard line. And a little pushing going on afterward, but everybody's going back to their respective sidelines. But again, so much can happen. We were really impressed by Alabama State last weekend, but you've also got to really tip your hat to Coach Deshaun Jackson and the job that he has done with Delaware State coming in. Maybe not many people giving him the credit or the expectations not matching that of Jackson, and all he's done is just exceed them to this point.
I don't think anybody saw them going down to Durham and ruining North Carolina Central's homecoming like that. You know, we've seen the improvement in Delaware State. They've won some games non-conference, showing that they can win games in conference as well.
It's Kevon King with a big first down run, pickup of a dozen, and in to another set of fresh downs. And now here a closer ball game, and what we've seen from Delaware State, their teams, they outgain their opponents. Again, they have such a strong rushing attack. Their defense giving up about 28 points per game, but when you put up the number of points that they do, they've come out on the winning side more than not. As King gets it once again and finding holes and gaps to take advantage of, and King brings up 2nd and 1 after that run, matching the yards gained on his jersey.
Yeah, they're hitting them with the same thing that Delaware State likes to do, running the inside zone. We've seen King have success running the ball in between the 2 guards, picking a hole for successful yardage.
Coons play action. They're going for Thomas, and Thomas tried to go up and get it, and the pass incomplete. It was Christian Garrett on the coverage.
Coons trying to go to Thomas and really nicely thrown ball. Thomas had an opportunity to make that catch, not able to secure the football, just a long incompletion, but you don't mind that. Considering the down and distance, it was 2nd and 1. You have to assume you can pick up 1 yard on 3rd down to keep the drive going.
Coons looking to see his team convert here on 3rd and 1. And the delayed handoff not given. It's Coons who keeps it and throws it out of bounds. Remember, he started this game 9 of 10 to start, 0 of his last 4, and now 4th and 1. And Jay, when we talked with Michael Vick, I think we're going to see a little bit more aggressiveness out of him. You feel confident you can pick up a yard?
I mean, you should be able to. I didn't like that play call because 3rd and 1, everybody knows you're going to run the football, so they're going to attack the pocket. And they called a draw play with everybody knowing that they were going to collapse the pocket. There was absolutely nothing there. You have to go smash mouth, get the ball to your running back, going straight ahead and challenge your offensive line to push him off the line of scrimmage. 9
of 16 on the season on 4th downs. And Delaware State.
Timeout, Delaware State. That's the first timeout. It's a 30-second timeout.
Delaware State wants to talk it over before this big 4th and 1. So Brandon Blackman gathering the defense. Spent the last 2 years as the Texas Tech defensive coordinator. #1 scoring defense over those couple of seasons. They're now just trying to make sure his team stands strong and holds up and doesn't allow this 1 yard. You think about the years of experience for these coaches and the way that Coach Jack has assembled this staff. A lot of NFL talent here on the field.
Big fella in the
former
backfield.
players, but here you got the big fella. You come in on 4th and 1, you run behind that big fella, and you try to drive those legs. Did the ball carrier pick it up? It's going to depend on the spot, as Evans was the ball carrier running behind big number 77 you see there in Major Dillard. There's the defensive tackle coming in here and just trying to create any little space for Evans to run and pick up that yard.
Well, keep the big fella in there.
Okay.
In the backfield.
There it is. And the pass incomplete. They targeted Perkins once again, trying to pick on him. Cameron Thomas couldn't come up with it. The flag came down in the backfield. No flag in the backfield.
I'm dialing up my best play for J.J. Evans. Bottom of your screen, if you can get him in a one-on-one matchup, right now, they've got the safeties high. Take a look at Evans, bottom of your screen in that matchup.
Feeling the pressure, not able to avoid it, and the Hornets swarm. Samuel Corpoy was in pursuit, and his swarm squad was behind him.
And as a quarterback, this is on you. They're coming for you. When you're going to make the spin move, you have to be able to get away. Too much momentum from the blitzing, nickelback and Corpoy. Once he makes that decision, he's in trouble. They've got too much speed, momentum going for you to change directions that fast. Surprised that Delaware State didn't call a timeout here in anticipation of getting the ball back to save some time on the clock so they can execute their 2-minute offense.
So back in their own territory, 3rd and forever for Norfolk State. Looking underneath, just takes it there as King trying to put on some moves. And he's brought down well short of the marker. And so with the 2-minute timeout, Delaware State has that plus 2 timeouts remaining.
So right now, you're Norfolk State, you have to make sure you get this punt off. The punt team has been a weak link in this game thus far, already given up a block punt for a touchdown. Have to think that Delaware State's going to come after it again.
Peary able to get it off. Julius Dominguez watches it go over his head. And an opportunity to pin him inside the 5. And they're going to say it's a touchback. So good effort once again. But not enough for the Spartans. Well, the next UFC fight is Saturday exclusively on ESPN+. The prelims begin at 4 Eastern from the Apex in Las Vegas, followed by the main card at 7 Eastern, highlighted by the featherweight main event. Watch on the all-new ESPN app.
And this is more bad special teams play. So they didn't locate the ball, but does the ball ever go into the end zone? Does not go into the end zone. They're swatting it back. That's another tough break there. Now, maybe they're saying a body part was in the end zone when it made contact with the football, but the college rule is the ball cannot cross into the end zone at all. Pro rule, it can go in there as long as it hit the ground, you can flip it back. And that's twice we've seen them get tough breaks on that.
And Jaden Sore is the new quarterback for the Hornets. The handoff to Marquise Gillis. And a short gain as Sore, the junior out of Lanham, Maryland. We thought we'd see him So that brings us to the 2-minute timeout as you see the junior helping out Jamar Jackson. Will step aside here with 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Introducing Verts. Swipe for news and highlights. Now available on the ESPN app.
Okay, everybody's showing up. Show up, show up. Hey, Cam Newton in the building, our very own. He was on First Take yesterday and then supporting Michael Vick and Deshaun Jackson. Want to see what it was all about. Spartan Legion making a dramatic entrance into the link. We were wondering where they were. And just to catch you up, a blocked punt, first of the season, returned for a touchdown by Amir Anderson. Put Delaware State up 10-6. They're looking to add to that before going into the locker room. New quarterback is Jaden Salray. Launches it, and the pass incomplete. Good defense there by the Spartan secondary.
And we knew we would see Salray. He's a guy that they say works hard enough that he deserves to play. More of a passer, pocket passer, than you get from Bennett. Now coming in with an opportunity to run 2-minute offense, but facing third down early in his appearance in this game.
So Coach Jack in his first season leading the Hornets. First collegiate head coaching job, did a great job thus far. 3rd and 8. And that one pops off the head, and coming back to get it, the heads up there from Naiji Lally, and that's one way to get your first reception of the night.
Won't be enough though. Exciting play, good concentration. As this ball just ricochets off of the helmet of Norfolk State defender.
Norfolk State.
Trying to make something when it wasn't there.
The 30-second timeout. Please reset the game clock to 1-3 3. 1, 3, 3.
And Norfolk State, who is now out of timeouts, does have an opportunity to get the ball back and perhaps put up some more points before going to the locker room. Remember, it's Delaware State who will receive the ball to start the third quarter. And thus far, Jay, I mean, coming in, we had seen Norfolk State at the start of the season. First time we're laying eyes on Delaware State. Very competitive game as we expected here tonight, as two former Eagles teammates on opposing sidelines. And fourth down, they're going for it here. So the offense on the field for the Hornets, Soray, flanked by two running backs and 20 personnel.
Given the appearance that they're going for it. 12 men on the field right now for Norfolk State. So you need to call a timeout if you recognize that, but Norfolk's out of timeouts. So.
And wisely skirting off the field was Khalif Jemison.
There's nothing that says you go for it in this situation. Up by 4 going into the half. You don't risk giving Norfolk State a spark.
Delay of game. Offense. Number 13. There's no foul for delay of game. Timeout awarded to Delaware State prior to the delay of game. That's the second timeout of the half, the 30-second timeout.
And Jay, there is a flag on the field at about the 29-yard line near the hash.
A little mix-up between the offensive and defensive line. This would be devastating if this is called against Norfolk State on the verge of getting the football back.
There is no penalty on the play. Delaware State is charged the second timeout prior to the delay of game.
Well, no flag comes out, but this is exactly what you were talking about, and the official does indeed toss the flag in the midst of.
They picked up the flag.
Yeah.
They picked up the flag to say there was no penalty there. Maybe a little change of mind, and the officials talked about it. But that's not the way you want it. You know, you want it officiated. You know, if you're going to call the flag, you have to call the flag. You have to get control of the football game. It's twice we've seen the officials kind of have an impact on this game in ways that they shouldn't.
Well, you saw Coach Jack giving Derek Hatton, the referee, an earful just now.
Key thing here for the return man, catch the ball. You know, if it's a low line drive kick, you want to run up to it and make the catch. Don't allow that ball to hit the ground and take time away, and you want good field position.
Dyson Roberts, the grad transfer from South Carolina State, gets it away. Jalen Loudermilk.
Catch the ball.
Indeed, you said to do that very thing. Instead, he lets it roll inside the 10. And Roberts pumped up after pinning inside the 10, 65-yard punt and taking away any opportunity, or not a great opportunity for starting field position for Norfolk State's offense.
Yeah, I mean, so often we see that. You just, the special teams not sharp for Norfolk State, really putting your offense in this position there. Norfolk State will be content just to call a couple plays and get into the locker room. And after Delaware State, you're going to do everything you can to force Norfolk State to punt this football before the half. Since you've already blocked one of their punts before, the challenge will go to Norfolk State.
Michael Vick looking on, hoping his team will just try to ease their way into the end zone, or rather locker room. Instead, they're going to try to run a little 2-minute offense. 13, and Cameron Thomas with the reception, using the sidelines to their advantage, stops the clock. So it gives them a little bit more breathing room out to the 14. Here's Coons. Coons feeling some pressure. Coons can't afford a safety, lets it go. And Quincy Robinson was right there to drag down Coons. A penalty marker is out as well.
See, Coach Jack wants the safety, and if that's intentional grounding in the end zone, it's a safety. This is one of those head scratchers. Why? Go into the locker room, down by 4.
Intentional grounding, offense, number 4. Lost a down at the spot of the foul. This also qualifies for a 10-second runoff. Please reset the game clock to 57 seconds.
So let's see where the grounding occurs. They're going to say he's not in the end zone. He's in the end zone.
Oh, yeah.
He is in the end zone,
Yes.
absolutely so.
That should be a safety.
It should be a safety. He's in the end zone.
In Delaware State, we saw Coach Jack running over to try to get a timeout.
The previous play of an intentional grounding is being reviewed to see if the quarterback was in the end zone at the time of the pass.
Well, before the timeout could be awarded, Coach Jack gets the favor of the replay official upstairs, who's going to review it. And Jay, it's pretty clear here that Coons is in the end zone. Another look here, a little more difficult, but it still shows that Coons was in the end zone.
Yeah. Good job by Coach Deshaun Jackson of getting back to the officials in time. Still scratching my head. In that situation, why throw the ball? You really think you're going to go 70 yards with no timeouts before the half? And those are the little things that you have to worry about, the clock management and the game management, aggressive play calling from Norfolk State. And this may result in Delaware State increasing the lead.
Now the question is, where was the football when he released? Coons in the end zone. Was the football extended out enough?
Because I've never seen a play like this, I know it's intentional, beyond the line of scrimmage. Every part of your body has to be beyond the line of scrimmage. Moving backwards, would that be the case? But as a football player in me, that says that ball, quarterback was in the end zone when he was getting rid of the football.
While he was in the end zone, see here
look,
where
his waist, hip, everything. Only thing not there, maybe you can say maybe the hand wasn't in there. I need some clarification on that rule, but unless that's the case, his body was in the end zone.
After review, the ruling on the field of the pass in the field of the play as an intentional grounding has been upheld. Delaware State chooses not to use the 10-second runoff. Please reset the game clock to 1:07. It is third down.
Okay, so I learned something there on that one. It must have been the point that you were talking about. Did the hand extend beyond the goal line? But I don't agree with that. It was just, give the defense some credit. I mean, they sacked the quarterback in the end zone because his pinky extended with a football in it.
Still, Norfolk State has to be careful here. Delaware State There's one timeout remaining, 3rd and 17. And the ball on their own 1-yard line. Norfolk State with Coons in the end zone, standing near that O. And spinning out and getting a little bit of breathing room is Xavier Evans. So Delaware State will spin their final timeout.
Please reset the game clock to 1:02. There is no 10-second runoff for the offensive player helmet coming off due to the timeout being called.
So this could be interesting because, once again, we know that Delaware State has blocked a punt already for a touchdown. Now you've got Delaware State punt block team on the 5-yard line. Not a lot of room for Norfolk State to get this punt off. Has to be a clean snap, and the timing has to be efficient. And even so, with the return man standing on the 40-yard line for Delaware State, the Hornets are trying to swarm. They have a sense that they can get some more points before halftime.
Peary deep in his own end zone.
They're going with punt return, so they're not going for the field goal, for the punt block. Looks like they're going to set up a return.
Flag out before the punt gets off.
Ball start, offense, number 2. Half the distance to the goal, remains 4th down.
Now they went for the return on the previous punt with the flag coming in. Now they can only punt the ball 12 yards, 12.5 yards. Normally you want to punt it from 15 yards away. I'd be surprised if they set up the return. I think now is the time where you absolutely go for the punt block. And they're backing them off again.
Nope. They'll potentially have really good field position if they almost got to the punter. He shanked it as Peary sees that one roll. A very favorable bounce for Norfolk State, considering inside the 40. Another look here.
I want to see, did he run into the punter? Punch there.
It looks like he's holding back Makai Ramirez. You see him try to pull up right here. It's kind of inadvertent contact with the leg of the kicker because it's extended.
The kicker's selling it a little bit.
He was trying to sell it there.
He was trying to sell it. Too close for comfort.
And now Jaden Sore still at quarterback for Delaware State. Can he help the Hornets put up more points before going into the locker room? Sore with time, and he has nowhere to go. Big number 53 is there to greet him, Kareem Reese. And the sophomore out of Stockbridge, Georgia, with a great play. So now 2nd and 13 after the sack. And Sore, who spins it, and incomplete. The pass intended for Maurice Clark, the Philadelphia native, incomplete, brings up 3rd and 13.
They had an open wide receiver running down the seam. Ball just floated a little bit on him. Tried to readjust. It would have been a big play, would have put him immediately in field goal range.
And D-Jack does have confidence in his kicker if they could get it around the 30-35 yard line. Looking. Jaden Sore still keeping his eyes downfield. It's incomplete. Again, Clark, the intended target.
And this is a little bit of a quarterback 101. The offensive line did a pretty stout job, but watch Sore leave the pocket. See, that's your home. You're in the pocket. Where are you going? Why leave? You have to be comfortable, stand tall, and look for your receivers from the pocket. He elected to leave the pocket a little bit sooner than needed. Forces a 4th down.
So 10 seconds remaining in this one, in the first half. And some confusion there on the personnel as Sorey and Jaden Jenkins were running back to the sideline.
Offense, number 13, 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
Backs him up. A little bit more room to punt.
Wow, disappointing end to the half for Delaware State offensively. You get the ball with that type of field position and you have a timeout.
Well, it's that block punt for a touchdown that has been the difference in this one to give Delaware State the advantage. But look at the yards on offense in the negative direction here. And that's very odd and out of character from what we've seen from the Hornets all season.
Give some credit to Norfolk State making the change at defensive coordinator, and Steve Adams has a Spartan defense matching the intensity of Delaware State with that offensive line in particular. This is just sloppy. Can we just get to the locker room? I think both coaches want to get to the locker room and talk about the second half.
The play will be replayed. As it was not ready for plays, the center judge was moving into position. Still 4th down.
So we'll try once more.
You know what they need, Tiff?
What do they need?
They need the bands to come light it up at halftime.
Yeah.
Because the game got flat. They need the bands to give them a little spark coming into the second half.
With the Spartan Legion on both sides of the field, they are ready to go along with the approaching storm. It should be an exciting and wonderful halftime performance as Deshaun Jackson and Delaware State take a 10-6 advantage into the locker room, or we think so, but perhaps not. You've got.
Go. There's 1 second left on the clock. It was going in when the official clock blew dead, but they allowed some people to run into the end zone. Now they have to bring them back.
After review, 2 seconds remain on the clock.
Meanwhile, the crowd getting antsy here inside the link because they're ready for the halftime show to begin.
Yeah, we saw Drum Major Mickey had assumed his position in midfield.
Previous play is under review.
Now this is an instance where it's just drawn out, and I think everyone is ready for the half to end.
I mean, with the clock there, by definition, yes, it goes into the end zone, the clock should stop. But after you let those guys run halfway into the tunnel, you have to go bring them back out.
I appreciate your ID and recognition of Drum Major Mickey as a part of our Disney on the Yard program, and Drum Major Mickey has been making his appearances in rounds.
He's getting better.
Yeah.
You remember when they first unveiled him? Was that at a BX Swag Challenge?
Was it the BX Swag Challenge at the Celebration Bowl?
Yeah.
After review, there's 2 seconds remaining on the touchback when the kick hit into the end zone.
And there you have it. So 2 seconds remaining in the half. And now this brings us to the close of the first 2 quarters here.
Are you sure?
I believe so. I was slow to speak between Norfolk State and Delaware State. The Hornets A home game for them at the Link with a 10-6 advantage over Michael Vick's Norfolk State Spartans. In what has been a homecoming from these two coaches. And first half of football complete for Coach Jack and his Hornets, who's kind enough to join us right now and just take us through that last sequence of events for your offense and not being able to put up points there. What do you have to do to make adjustments going into the second half?
Man, we're struggling right now, man. It's not a good outing by us right now. We just got to settle down, man. I think the lights are a little too big for the fellas right now. But at the end of the day, man, we got to play football. It's all about playing football, executing. We'll do a better job coming out here second half.
Coach Jackson, you came out in the first quarter. You showed like Delaware State football. You ran the ball, moved it up the field. Negative yardage in the second quarter. What are they doing to take away your running game?
I mean, they're just playing a good game, man. Mike Vick got the boys ready to play, man. Like I said, these lights may be a little too big, but I'm going to set them down. We're going to execute. We're going to do what we need to do. We just got to, man, make the game not bigger than what it is, man. It's football at the end of the day.
All right, thanks, Coach. We appreciate the time.
All right, thank you.
It's a pretty big environment. The lights are big. I see it. We don't get too starstruck too often, but there's a lot of star power here.
And playing in an NFL stadium, home of the Philadelphia Eagles. Coming up at the half, Kevin Connor, Sam Acho, and E.J. Manuel with more after the break. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Prime Time from Philadelphia. The link has been filled with Norfolk State and Delaware State fans in this big MEAC showdown as we welcome you back inside. Jay Walker, Tiffany Green here with you. And so much anticipation around this game because of the head coaches for both of these teams. But when you got a chance to look at their teams, the players on the field, what did you think of that first half?
I think like Coach Jackson said for Delaware State, the moment might have been too big for these young kids. They're playing in a professional football stadium. The crowd is packed. They're energetic. They're exciting. Both teams need to settle down. It was a very sloppily played first half. Whoever can settle down and find their rhythm is a team that has the best chance at winning the football game. And stars like that all around this arena also makes you get a little bit more nervous.
Cam Newton, who was in the building, Marshawn Lynch, the former teammate of Deshaun Jackson, we saw earlier. Taking a look at the first half stats, it's Delaware State, who we thought would be the big favorite in the rushing category, leading all of FCS, but the story really in the stats have favored Norfolk State.
Yeah, I mean, Norfolk State would take trailing by 4 going into halftime against this vaunted offense from Delaware State. Delaware State has to be disappointed. They averaged over 300 yards rushing per game. They didn't even get to half a century that first half. They need to find a way to get the running game going, but give credit to Norfolk State defensively. They've met the challenge of the Hornets.
Here on the return, penalty markers come out for the return for the Hornets as Samuel Scaife, the fourth, was the return man for Del State. So we heard from Coach Jack. We'll await the call here from Derek Hatton and his crew, but I'm curious to know what type of adjustments you anticipate seeing from both of these coaches, especially from Norfolk State.
I think that Norfolk State needs to figure out a way to protect Otto Coons, move the pocket for him a little bit, and allow him to be their best player.
Holding, return team, number 42. That penalty's declined. During the return, holding, return team, number 25. That penalty enforced half the distance to the goal. First down, Delaware State.
And these are the things that if you're Delaware State, you can't do. On paper, you have the better team. You've got the better victories. You wanted to come out and say, let's take the penalties out of the game and let's just go out here and beat this team between the hash marks and win the game that way, but don't keep them in the game with the penalties, the offsides, and the holdings.
Well, Deshaun Jackson not liking what he sees immediately out of half with a couple of penalties, moving his team back. Sorey, who we saw come in that late second half, remains in the ball game to start this third quarter for the Hornets. And Lally was toting the rock. How does this Delaware State offense get back on track? You talked about the way that they were protecting up front, controlling the line of scrimmage. What more do they need to do to get back to their identity?
Force the inside zone run. So sometimes you have to force the envelope where you can wear down the opposing team's defensive line. They did that at times, but see, plays like that, you know, when you wear out the defensive line, and then you just find positive yards to stay ahead of the chains, that's Delaware State football. You don't need the home run ball. You don't need the 20, 30-yard runs all the time, but you need the consistent 4 or 5-yard runs when they call the inside zone.
It's going to bring up 3rd and 2 for Del State. 1 of 5 tonight on third down conversions. Jones tries to get those tough yards, unable to do so as that defensive front standing up when need be. And Jordan Harris, a guy that you mentioned earlier, as Steve Adams told us really needed to have an impact. And there he was.
They just got to the hole too late. And as you mentioned, Jordan Harris, big number 44, filling the gap, able to force a 4th down.
And since the change at defensive quarterback, we have seen a difference in the identity for the Spartans. They gave up 51 points last week, not to their standard or liking. And so far, high-powered offense, they've kept to just 10 points. Roberts on the punt. Jalen Loudermilk trotting back, gathers, gets going. Across the 40, some laundry comes out in the process of the return.
Well, this is what you call a boneheaded play. A block in the back against Norfolk State for somebody that's not even involved in the play. The return man, Loudermilk, was going away from the block, and he still elected to push him in the back. These are the type of plays we're talking about, why you can't separate and find some type of rhythm. You have an opportunity to get the ball back quick in decent field position.
During the return, illegal block in the back, receiving team, number 36. That penalty is declined. During the return, illegal block in the back, receiving team. That penalty is enforced on the foul. First down, Norfolk State.
And let's take a look at this. Number 3 right there. You see number 3? Nothing to do with the play at all. That's actually a cheap shot. Cheap shot. You weren't engaged with him. He didn't see you coming. You push him in the back. That's an easy call for the official to make. And that's why teams get off to 1-7 starts with plays like that.
Well, Aldo Coons, who's back on the field to try to shake that last bit of the second quarter off. It was a weird ending to that first half. And since then, we'll see what the Spartans come back with. Evans with no room to run. Nashawn Biggs with the stop.
Big time play by Nashawn Biggs as he took on the running back and the would-be blocker. You see Aldo Coons' numbers from the first half. Efficient, I would say efficient, not dominating, but he can do so much more. If Norfolk State's going to get it going, Coons is going to have to make some big throws. And I still like the connection between Aldo Coons and wide receiver number 6, J.J. Evans.
J.J. Evans to the top of your screen, number 6 and white. Evans with the cutback. And a gain of about 3 on the play. So third down here.
And so often you say, you know, what does a team need to do? Well, take advantage of what you're better at. And I think Norfolk State is better than Delaware State when it comes to wide receivers and defensive backs. So if that's the case, I'm going to make this pass happen. On offense, we're going to throw the football. We're going to make Delaware State prove that they can shut down our weapons at wide receiver. That would be the adjustment I would do. Put it on the right arm of Aldo Coons.
Coons is looking and just cannot connect with Drayshawn Kendrick.
Wide open.
Had Kendrick there.
And that's on Kendrick. Coons went the right place with the football. It was there on the out route. And I don't know, for some reason or another, Kendrick just fell down. But that shows you the difficulty that Delaware State is having defending the wide receivers from Norfolk State.
And at this point in the season, many teams are experiencing players being down, out with injuries. Certainly this defensive unit has been plagued with injuries, but it's next man up mentality, says Brandon Blackman. And right now he needs his defense and good coverage by Norfolk State on the punt, coming up to make the tackle swiftly.
Media.
Is Sophion Omenro. Okay, you know you're in Philly, one of Philly's finest, Meek Mill in the link to check out tonight's game.
knowledge we have, it would be selfish for us to not give back to these young men that's trying to go somewhere in life. So I think that's something that stands out. That's the character of men that you get when you talk about a Deshaun Jackson and a Michael Vick. We're just here to pour into the youth and change their coaches and change their lives.
They were brothers on the field for 5 seasons here at Philadelphia. Deshaun Jackson, a 3-time Pro Bowler, 15 seasons in total. Look at that, 11,000 plus career receiving yards. One of the most electric wide receivers we've seen. And how about getting it going is Marquise Gillis catching it out of the backfield. A pickup of 8.
You know, and I can feel where he's coming from, you know. When you've been surrounded by great minds in the game of football, you kind of owe it to give back. You know, and I always say, folks would always ask me, when are you going to get into coaching? And I feel like I respect the profession too much. I can't give all of me in that way. But I always felt like I owed it because of the coaching tree I came under, the Bill Parcells, the Denny Green, the Brian Billett. So hats off to these 2 guys that have so much more going for them in life. They're saying, you know what, we want to give back to the game that gave us so much.
Caden Bennett completes the pass to Kyrie Benton. Benton, who first time with the catch tonight and moves the chains for the first down. But I love it too because, you know, part of the conversation was how Coach Prime really impacted both of these coaches. They saw the blueprint that he set forward. They called him and said, you know, hey, how do I do this? Or give me some advice. And now they feel like they can give and have success just like Marquise Gillis is having on this run as David Ojekbi knocks him down from behind. 19-yard gain on that run from Gillis.
Watch Gillis, the local from Milford, Delaware. Watch him anticipate contact. He starts spinning before the would-be tackler gets there in anticipation of the contact, throwing juke moves, picking up more yardage, running inspired for Delaware State.
Longest run of the night for the Hornets. They keep it on the ground. Again, back to their identity. And Marquise Gillis, once again, another double-digit run, another first down.
You can see that his coach really appreciates the effort there from Gillis. Saying that's what I'm talking about. That's how we play football. They play things a little bit tougher in Delaware. Good piece of running there by Marquise Gillis.
Player who had to rebound after a season-ending injury last year. Good to see him at full strength and what he can do. While he gets a breather, they decided to air it out, and Maurice Clark hauls it in. Transfer it in from Temple, Philadelphia native, pickup of 21.
It was right down the seam. Get him with a play action because the safeties have to respect it. Wide open. Clark, who doubles as a tight end for Delaware State, more like a wide receiver, but capable of doing both.
Bennett patiently waiting, and tripping him up is Cameron Reese. No gain on the play. Well, you got a number of new faces coming in to this Delaware State program who only had 1 win a season ago, just 2 wins amassed over the last 2 seasons. So things already shifting and turning around for this Hornets program. And Coach Jack tapping some of that California love. Jones on the carry.
That's what a lot of folks have said. Oh, well, Deshaun Jackson, he's just winning because he got all those players from California that came in and some junior college guys and some high school guys. But, I mean, that's college football today. You go where you have a base, and his base has come in and done a really good job. And there's still enough local talent there on the roster. We talk about Gillis. We talk about guys from Delaware State football has always had a New Jersey connection, Pennsylvania connection, and a Maryland connection. Those relationships are still here. Most of the starters are not from California.
Here's Gillis trying to go to the short side, and Gillis stood up by Caleb Gilmore. No gain on the play, so that's going to bring up 4th down. 6 yards to go.
And that picture there says a lot. As you take a look at Ty Jones, number 21, smiling, fist up in the air. Michael Vick said, he had to tell his guys, go out there and start having fun playing football. If you do your job, you can have fun while playing this game. And that was a good notion right there. Ty Jones did a good job, made the play, had fun, big smile on his face.
Patrick Fisher-Butler on to attempt the 25-yarder. Made one from 30 earlier. This one is up and is through. So extending the lead out. Up to 7. And Delaware State just tacking on a little bit more. They hang on to the lead with 6:37 remaining in the third.
We're going to decide who's the better team.
It is wide open.
Can you believe it? Who's in the driver's seat to get to the playoffs?
The top 25 rankings reveal and 12-team CFP projection. Tuesday on ESPN.
Well, a lot to shake out here in week 10 of the college football season, and certainly some major games going on. Texas A&M well-deserved rest after their big win against LSU. Alabama the same. Penn State, Ohio State. It's going to be a good one at noon, but I got to tell you, Jay, my eyes are set on Vandy and Georgia Tech. What great stories they continue to be this season in college football, continuing to build.
For this weekend, but, you know, if you're Vanderbilt, I need another quality win. You know, Alabama, who's been the powerhouse in that conference, they've given you the loss for the year. So show me you can beat a team like that, you know, that Georgia program. But I'm pulling for Marcel Reed. You know what Marcel Reed is? Quarterback for Texas A&M.
Jalen White here on the return, trying to stiff arm the defender. All right, tell me more about Marcel Reed. I know you want to keep going.
Well, look at this. Talk about keeping it going.
And Jay, we have seen some pushing and shoving in parts throughout this game. The referees or the officials have done a nice job of keeping this game under control, but you know it's nearing a tipping point. This is an important game for both. Is Norfolk State trying to right the ship for the remainder of their season?
You know, you got to let guys out of it. Very fortunate the penalty wasn't thrown. You know, guys trying to push. Look at the push in there. Oh, come on. Very lucky they did not get penalized. No room for that in today's college football. You got away with one.
And did they get it off in time? Delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense, number 4. 5-yard penalty. Makes first down.
And I'm wondering, we've seen a number of delay games, and that's because you're playing in a foreign stadium, a stadium you're not used to. You don't know where the 25-second clock is down on the field, because there's no way after a change of possession you just come out and let the game clock go down and take that penalty.
Coons in there, the J.J. Evans. Evans, who caught the touchdown earlier, the lone score for Norfolk State before the missed extra point. And the Spartans need a spark on offense. Here's Drayshawn Kendrick. Kendrick with a nice cut back and moves, stiff arm, keeps going out near the 43, 44 yard line.
Nice response by Norfolk State. We get a completion on the previous play to Evans, and look at this effort here from Kendrick. Nice shake move, stop on a dime, cut, stiff arm, more yardage. Kendrick showing you the explosiveness. That's why I said earlier, I think the strength that Norfolk State has in this game is their wide receivers may be too much for Delaware State's defensive backfield.
First and 10 from the 44. There's King, and King out across the 50-yard line. And Kevon King, 7-yard gain on the play. The ball will be spotted on the Delaware State 49-yard line.
After that type of success on first down, you say, okay, let's run it again. But you know Delaware State's going to make some type of adjustment anticipating the run. You can't afford a negative play when it's 2nd and 3. I take a deep shot here. Go play action and see if you can free up one of your wide receivers.
They've had the most success tonight with Evans. They go for the deep shot with Evans. And overthrown, some contact there. And it brings up 3rd and 3.
Really feel like that's the proper play call. Go for the home run shot with Evans, who's been in trouble all night here at midfield, so you have to think possibly 4th down territory. As long as you don't get negative yardage on this play. That's a good job by the defensive backfield of Delaware State, not allowing Evans to get behind them.
Out to King and just overthrows the running back. He had space, and now it's 4th and 3 for Norfolk State.
He just missed him. I mean, that's the play. It was designed to go that direction to the running back out of the backfield in the flat. Just a misfire on the throw.
Norfolk State has had some chances here tonight. Only 6 points to show for it. They got to punt it away with Marco Peary, the sophomore from Norfolk. Julius Dominguez back to receive it. Lets it go over his head. And this time it doesn't go into the end zone and pinned inside the 5-yard line. So fortunes turn for special teams. Meanwhile, an injured player on the field for Norfolk State. We'll tell you more about it when we come back. football matchup. Trey McBride and the Cardinals square off against Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, 8 Eastern on ABC, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the all-new ESPN app with Peyton and Eli on ESPN. 2 coverage kicks off with NFL Live at 3 Eastern from AT&T Stadium. The QB rating for Dak Prescott is going to have a couple of nights on Monday Night Football over the next 3 weeks. Leads the NFL in total QBR, and good to see the injured player come off the field in Sofyan Ominru, excuse me. And jumping all on the back of the ball carrier was big number 6. Bringing him down, Kyrie Moiston. He had a sack earlier tonight in this game, and Moiston a tackle for a loss of 1. So moving Delaware State closer and closer to their end zone.
And that's the type of extra effort you have to have versus a team that's going to run the inside zone on you. And also in that play, the right tackle, Isaiah Cook, number 72, his helmet came off, so he has to leave the game for a play. They go to a backup, so now opportunity for Norfolk State to stay aggressive on that defensive line and try and get a safety.
The sophomore Maury Francis comes in for Cook, who's their strongest and most versatile offensive lineman. They try to go with any kind of breathing room there, and again, you see pushing and shoving between these two. It's escalating in its chippiness as this game goes on. Able to separate. No gain on the play. Now 3rd down upcoming for the Hornets.
Respect Norfolk State, the defensive line has risen to the occasion on this drive. Now can the secondary do something in the passing situation?
Bennett escaping, has some real estate ahead of him. And a 1st down picked up off the legs of Caden Bennett. 17-yard gain.
Sooner or later, the #1 rushing quarterback in FCS football was going to make a play. Steps out of that tackle, outruns another would-be tackler, picks up a crucial 1st down for the Hornets.
And Bennett, you see, kind of favoring a little limp there.
Empty backfield as well, so hopefully that's just a cramp.
Gets it out, complete to Jaden Jenkins. A short gain on the play. We'll pick up about 5. And Jay, for all of the energy that we felt coming into today's game, all of the talk leading up to it, this was decided back in August. This was the one that folks were circling on their calendar to watch these 2 NFL greats, now head coaches, go head to head. It's a close ball game here. Late in this 3rd quarter, just a score separates Delaware State from Norfolk State. Gillis tries to move the pile a little bit, pickup of 3.
I'd be curious, what do you think we've seen? More Vic jerseys or more Jackson jerseys in the crowd?
I feel like it's a balance because I saw some Vic jerseys earlier, but D-Jack has his strong contingency, and he felt very confident about the number of people that would show up tonight. The way this rushing attack is starting to show up in this second half, outgaining what they did in the first 2 quarters, 65 yards on the ground and counting. And this is going to be close, and you see there all kinds of flags come out, and still locked up. This big number 69, Justice Johnson, was tied up with one of the defenders.
That's Isaiah Cook, who might have been called for a personal foul after the play was over.
They sort it out, and we will listen in on the final decision on the infractions.
The result of the play is a first down. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, 72 of the offense threw a punch. He is ejected. After the play, unsportsmanlike, number 11 on the defense. Those penalties canceled. It is first down, Delaware State.
Well, that is huge to have.
Let's see.
Isaiah Cook, 72. There he is right there. See, he gets pushed and yeah.
He punched somebody that's sitting on the ground, but have to give credit to the officials. They saw the first one, but actually they called it on number 11, Gilmore, but it looks like it was on number 8, David Ojigbe. But huge loss for Delaware State, losing Isaiah Cook, their most versatile offensive lineman.
So the right tackle for the Hornets ejected from the game.
Timeout,
Coach
Delaware
Jack
State as the first timeout, the 30-second timeout.
Spins a timeout. Well, again, when you're trying to install culture into your program, that was the first thing that Coach Jack said they had to do coming into this program, challenging that discipline early on. See 11 involved there, but Ojegbe, who was on the ground, you saw that first punch, and Coach Jack on the officials and staying in their ear, but you know, he's come in to clean that up and really give hope to this program who had not had success in recent years. Right? They haven't had a MEAC championship since 2007, and now we've seen his team come together and have consistency week in and week out, and that is obviously not the way he wanted it to shake out with his starting right tackle, Isaiah Cook, going for the rest of the game. Back to action here. The wave starting inside the link. 1st and 10, Hornets. And the pass complete. No gain on the play. To bring up 2nd and 10.
I'll tell you, the intensity in this place is picking up a notch. It's a battle of wills right now. This is conference game. You know, Norfolk State realizes if you lose 2 games in the MEAC, your season is done. Delaware State finally getting a chance at some success. They want to continue the experience.
Jay, this picture says that these fans have been on point, and they're creating that energy inside the link. Jay, you even participated.
You didn't do it. How do you not get involved in the wave? Come on, Tiff.
That is the end of the 3rd quarter.
I love it. Talk about the energy's been here all night long. Both schools' fan base showing up big time. Game is still in the balance.
One-score ball game going into the fourth quarter, and folks, this game means something. Every game means a lot in the short sprint for a MEAC championship. Currently, Delaware State sitting at 1-0, undefeated in conference play, trying to remain that way as the Delaware State Hornets, who have started to turn things around here in this second half, getting that rushing attack going and looking for more under first-year head coach Deshaun Jackson. Meanwhile, Norfolk State looking for their first conference win under head coach Michael Vick. Jay Walker, Tiffany Green back here with you as Jaden Jenkins out of the backfield, and what an outstanding tackle made by Dalen Long.
This is how you pursue the football. Inside out. If you can make the offense settle for the swing pass, they're doing that for a reason. They want to get a linebacker in open space versus a running back. And just look at the angle of pursuit. Number one, he's coming over, gear down, follow through, make the tackle. Textbook play by Dalen Long.
Dalen Long, who's moved all around in this defense, and Steve Adams has him as a Mike linebacker here tonight. 3rd and 10, Caden Bennett surveys, a helmet comes off of the player for Delaware State and tripped up in the process as Caden Bennett, as a penalty marker comes out. Cameron Reese with a nifty tackle.
Is this going to be hands to the face on Norfolk State, possibly?
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 6, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. Number 71 may remain in the game.
On the left side of your screen, just gets underneath helmet, comes clean off. 15-yard penalty, that variety, and Delaware State, the beneficiary, going to get a first down.
And Jay, we saw this on a previous drive, but worth noting that Caden Bennett is still limping. You see him walking up to receive the snap. He's playing through it. So we'll keep an eye on that. Dangerous pass, as that was behind Kyrie Benton, and Jaden Smith was pursuing the same.
And slightly surprised coming out throwing the ball on first down when you lead the team, you lead the nation in rushing yards. This is that point in the game where you do what's best. Do what your team does best, and that's run the football. Yes, Norfolk State has been pretty stout against the run, but I wouldn't abandon it just yet.
Just the second incompletion tonight for Caden Bennett. And a strong run up ahead, down near just about the 50-yard line. And an injured player down for Norfolk State. Appears to be Dalen Long.
Timeout.
And Long grabbing that left leg as he gets attended to by the training staff. We'll come back. Saturday SEC on ABC College Football triple header coming your way as Vanderbilt travels to Texas, a top 20 matchup, then Georgia, Florida. Last time it's going to be played in Jacksonville for a few years while the stadium gets renovated. Then Oklahoma going to Rocky Top to face off against the 14th ranked Tennessee Vols, 7-1. First time they've had that record since 1941. They are anchoring down in Nashville. Dalen Long, who was the injured player, who got off under his own power. And on the sideline, the senior out of Cincinnati, Ohio. He watches on this 3rd and 4. Hoping his Spartans can hold here. Instead, the pass complete to Jaden Jenkins, and Jenkins was brought down by Caleb Gilmore, but not after or not until he picks up 10 yards and a first down.
They got fortunate. There was a great break on the ball by the linebacker, right side of your screen, number 10, just missed it. Layout for that one, might have been able to deflect that pass. But a good job by running after making the catch to pick up additional yardage by Jenkins.
As they move over to the 41-yard line of Norfolk State, and Caden Bennett, who takes off. A little help there from James Jones. His running back for the block pickup of 9.
I think the adjustment we've seen from Delaware State, instead of calling the design runs, they're going to open up the pass, and if Caden Bennett sees a running lane, he becomes a rushing attack. Because Norfolk State's been pretty stout against the run all evening, the design run. So now they're putting it on the legs of Caden Bennett, the quarterback. So another tough run. Give credit to this Norfolk State defensive line answering the call.
And that's Dalen Long coming back in to make a play after being on the sideline. Loss of 2 on the run. And yes, credit Steve Adams and what he's done since taking over as defensive coordinator, because coming into today, the Spartans gave up 195 yards on the ground per game this season. And they have kept the top rushing attack in all of FCS to 117 yards so far tonight. 3 for 3 on this drive on 3rd downs, and that's another pickup there. 4 for 4 is Marquise Gillis, the ball carrier. Boy, the impact that Clinton Portis has had on these running backs, we haven't mentioned his name tonight, and Marquise Gillis has benefited from his knowledge.
And the running style, not a lot of wasted movement, able to hit the hole in a hurry with power. Anybody can run through a hole, but where's your shoulder pad level? How much power are you generating as you go through would-be tacklers? And we've seen Delaware State running backs do a good job.
Quickly out the hands to Kyrie Benton, and the tackle made by Makai Frisbee.
I've been wondering when they were going to take advantage of the soft zone coverage on the outside. Makai Frisbee's, he's been playing off ball all evening long. Seems like you can take that quick little hitch route or slant route on him all night long. See him at the top of the screen. That's a lot of cushion.
Bennett pump fake and then swung down. Keyshawn Lynch, first time we've called his name tonight, the 5th-year senior out of Newport News, with the sack, loss of 4.
They're trying to get him a little double move here, a little pump and go, but not fooled, and just a great job getting to the quarterback. It went down so fast, I almost wondered, was there a face mask involved there? Violent tackle.
Lynch, who provides a veteran presence up front for the Spartans here on 3rd and 9. Bennett with time, looking, man wide open in the end zone, and touchdown! Just like that, Tamir Ellis, the tight end, hauls in the score. And Delaware State extends their lead.
Great job extending the play by Bennett. And this is just a blown coverage because number 7, Mekhi Frisbee, had the deep third. He gets out of position, comes over too late. And a touchdown for Delaware State over the blown assignment.
And the extra point sails left. It is no good. But how about the Delaware State Hornets come buzzing into Philly, and it's because of plays like that. They're up 19-6 over Norfolk State, and Caden Bennett, oh boy, you're loving it. Back here in the fourth quarter, Delaware State puts up another score, and this one, Jay, you said was too easy.
Yeah, trying to figure out what is going on out here in the secondary. This is Mekhi Frisbee, the cornerback. He's responsible for a deep third area, so nothing gets behind him this way. But as the play goes, he sloughs off to the middle, loses track of where he is, and then he's in no man's land. Wide open touchdown, but really give credit to Caden Bennett extending the play, allowing both secondary receivers to get deep into the end zone for the score.
And check out this Columbia blue and cherry red inside the link. Delaware State fans showing up. Spartans fans are here too. HBCU fans up in Philly enjoying this one. Jalen from his own goal line. Jalen White with speed, space, keeps it going. Penalty marker comes out in the process of the return.
Pretty sure this will be another penalty away from the return. That's going to cost Norfolk State good field position.
During the return, holding, receiving team, number 18, 10-yard penalty, first down, Norfolk State.
Elijah Mitchell, the guilty party, and shooting themselves in the foot on a couple of solid returns for Michael Vick's team that have been wiped out.
Yeah, and one like that, I mean, the ball carrier wasn't even anywhere in the vicinity. and you bring back a great return. Those are the plays there. But going back to your first point, hats off to the city of brotherly love. They brought the energy, the excitement, the crowd, the fans, and I think that Coach Jack is on to something. Delaware State needs to play a game here more often in Philadelphia.
Cutting through is Kevon King, the ball carrier. And Jay, you know, it started with just the ask to Chairman, CEO, owner of the Philadelphia Eagles, Jeffrey Lurie, in which Coach Jack has a really good relationship with, and the Eagles have been great hosts. The city of Philadelphia has certainly embraced their former sons coming back home to the link. Second and 5 with space on the outside. That's Cameron Thomas. And Thomas flung down by Wayne Favors, the third first down. You think about the state of Pennsylvania welcoming in this HBCU exuberance. Of course, they are home to the two oldest HBCUs in the country, in Cheney University and Lincoln University. And the drives since those first two for Norfolk State have not netted much in terms of yards. Otto Coons has all day to throw this one. Too tall for his intended target, and Favors the third almost comes up with it.
And just another misfire from Coons. That's an example of what they call happy feet by the quarterback. Spinning out of the pocket when you necessarily don't have to. And I mean, you have to be able to put that ball right in the numbers. Evans is a fantastic wide receiver, big target at 6'3". He airmailed that one. Missed opportunity.
Coons keeps it out past the 30-yard line. Near his sideline, and now it's going to bring up third down. And just to echo the point even further, Jay, the attendance here tonight, 30,000 plus, which is vitally impressive. And the Hornets contingency getting loud here on third down, hoping their defense can hold up. Coons has Evans. Evans with the dynamite catch. What concentration from Evans in the paint. 70 yards for J.J. Evans. Second touchdown reception of the night, but it was the concentration and the yards after catch that made it all happen.
Evans has been a problem for Delaware State all night in this case, able to adjust. And I think the key is he's able to get by the would-be defender. So once you have the defender in no man's land, he can't see the football, and then great concentration and finish off the catch with a touchdown.
Don't count out the Spartans just yet. What an outstanding grab and play by J.J. Evans. He has indeed been dynamite, the longest play of the season for the Spartans. And Norfolk State right in this one. Come back with us for a thrilling finish.
Hey, Tiff.
Yo.
Give me 5.
Hey.
How about this? Let's get it going right away. I'm going to go ahead and clarify something right here. Yes, he's on the list. Deshaun Jackson, the impact he has made at Delaware State, nobody saw it coming. Tremaine Jackson, I see the job you're doing down there at Prairie View A&M. Fantastic job. He's one of the hottest coaches in HBCU football. Chinnis Berry, we know what Chinnis Berry can do. The job he did at South Carolina State, hot, hot, hot. Coming in at number 3, Eddie Robinson Jr. got the number 1 team in HBCU football right now, proving that he can win the big game. At number 2, Trey Oliver, despite the loss to this Delaware State team, he's one of the best ones out there. And T.C. Taylor, I mean, his first head coaching job, won a national championship, continues to win well. Both number 1 and 2 got upset a week ago, so may have to adjust this list a little bit if they don't get their acts together. But those are the hottest HBCU coaches, I think, right now out there on the market. And as coaching jobs start to come open this time of year, some people may take a look at that list and say, hey, we want one of those guys.
Indeed, there could be a lot of shifting as Samuel Scaife IV trying to shift around, and there are yellow flags out on the field on that return. We've seen a good bit of long
kickoffs and punt returns, they're calling it tight. Supervisor of officials Andre Lowe must be tightening up the screws on them a little bit.
It's a big nationally televised game. You know, want to make sure dot the I's, cross the T's.
Let them play sometimes. Away from the ball. And I think that's unfortunate for both teams. It looks like most of these penalties have been away from the ball.
Return. Holding. 84 the return team. That penalty is declined. During the return, holding is enforced on the spot of foul. Return team, number 22, first down.
So Jay, as they sort that out, you know.
You're gonna let me get away with my hottest coaches list? I know you have something to say.
I like your list, but I'm gonna chime in with Tiff's 2 cents. Chris Barnett, who has the Hornets playing exceptional football right now, especially offensively. He's the O coordinator for the Hornets. And how about Alvin Parker? A couple of CIAA championships for Virginia Union. He is really hot.
He's hot
right now.
He's hot. Good list there. I'll give you credit. That's a good one there.
It's complimentary here today, Jay. That doesn't happen very often. Caden Bennett tries to zip it in there and does so. Threads the needle into Nathan Stewart for the first down. Remember, Jay, their last drive started at their own 3-yard line. 18 plays. Longest drive of the season. Took nearly 9+ minutes off the clock. After the play, Jaden Smith, the graduate student out of Woodbridge, Virginia, down on the field for the Spartans.
You know, and if I had to add a name on that list after seeing the job that Nemo Washington has done for Delaware State, the offensive coordinator, some folks will be talking about that as you see the helmet to the leg there, Jaden Smith. Hopefully he'll be able to recover from that and come back in this game.
Still very young coaches. Michael Vick just 45 years old. Deshaun Jackson 38 years young. And talk about Nemo Washington for Delaware State, the offensive coordinator. Coach Jack just loves his energy, former Bowie State quarterback. He even coached Amir Hall back in the heyday for Bowie State. Through the hole is James Jones. James Jones is taking off across the 50, 40. It's a foot race, and James Jones sprints and dives into the end zone. What an answer from Delaware State. Oh yeah. A 76-yard gallop for James Jones. Baltimore, Maryland's own.
He put it all on display in that fantastic run. Power, balance, and speed. as he finished this off. I mean, watch the hop and watch the acceleration and the balance. Keeps his balance and then turns on the jets and outruns the rest of the Norfolk State defense. Explosive play from James Jones.
Fourth time this season, Jones has gone over the century mark on the ground, and obviously aided by
Timeout.
that
Delaware
big
State,
run.
the first timeout, the 32nd timeout.
Appears that Delaware State's going to call a timeout as they go for 2 to increase the lead to 14 if they can get it. But you saw the speed on display here. Once he didn't go down there, realized where he had to run after a little zigzag, turned on the speed, and it's a great job of running. Clinton Portis, his running back coach, should be proud. He used to be a home run hitter like that.
Correction. That is the Delaware State second timeout.
But Jay, that just goes back to the point you made earlier. A number of former NFL players on this coaching staff for Deshaun Jackson, and for as good as he has been this season, he's also surrounded himself with some very good coaches in the process. So they called that timeout in order to get in order for the 2-point conversion. They're going to attempt it here. Bennett looking and gets his man in the back of the end zone. Najee Lally. Conversion complete. And how about the way D-Jack's team has come out here in this second half, resembling the energy of their coach and getting back to the way Hornets football has been played this season.
You know, just patience right here, extending the play, which is what Caden Bennett has done all season long for him. And, you know, the thing that jumps out to me is just Delaware State football has been down and out for a long time. And for me to be a commentator and see the joy that you're seeing on these kids' faces. These folks have seen way more lose than they have winning. And for the hope that D-Jack has brought to the program, seeing instances like this, that's what it's all about.
Well, when he was brought in, he told President Tony Allen and all of Hornet Nation that he wanted to win a MEAC championship, wanted the opportunity to go to a Celebration Bowl. He said, hey, why not this season? Why not get it on and popping right now? And explosive plays here in this quarter we have seen from both teams. That last one from James Jones. And this is what I appreciate about Coach Jack. You know, he says, look, we've been doubted all year long, and players have felt that disrespect too, and they've taken it on the chin and really embraced it. And so when you watch the way they play with that passion and energy you talked about, they just want to go out and prove that we're better than people think we are.
Absolutely. You know, you have a feeling the message at halftime was just go out here and play football. Stop worrying about the outside noise and playing in the stadium. And it seems like in this second half, they tried to prove that they're one of the top 5 HBCU teams in the country.
And he brings all that LA swag.
LA faux show. Like we say in the hometown, faux show, LA all the way.
Right. Well, those LA roots have served him well, because he said, look, then you had to develop thick skin. And so what he tells his team is you have to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. You know, Coach Jack is a guy who says, look, I'm comfortable in all environments just because of the way that I was raised, and I can thrive anywhere that I am, and getting these guys ready by putting them in situations to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. Back at it is J.J. Evans hauling that in from Otto Coons. A tough catch made. That's Drayshawn Kendrick who brings in the reception, much like his teammate J.J. Evans has done tonight.
Yeah, this is where I thought they had the strength there. Wow, they're going to call that simultaneous possession and give that to the offense, but Fortunate that wasn't intercepted by Delaware State.
The previous play of a completed catch is under further review.
And just watching Coach Jack on the sideline, I mean, he is so dialed in. He's very intense. We talked about that charisma that he has off camera, but he is locked in on the field. He said, you know, sometimes kids kind of antsy as a coach because it feels like he wants to get in the game and play. Well, he's bringing that mentality on the sideline as a coach. So Dedrick Gibson and Drayshawn Kendrick both have a hold of the football coming down.
Yeah, I'm going to say simultaneous possession, and then the defense ends up with it when they're out of play.
When Kendrick first rolled over, it looked like he had possession, and by the time that they rolled out of bounds, it appeared that Gibson had further grip, but inbounds, simultaneous possession. I agree with you, Jay.
Well, they both got it there. They got a left arm underneath it. Two hands from the defensive back, Dedrick Gibson, able to pull it away from one hand, but by then they're already out of bounds. And he's got it. He's put two hands on there.
The ruling on the field is that it is a completion, and they are still reviewing this one. And you've got all kinds of sounds inside the stadium. The Spartan Legion band is playing. Our ESPN da-na-na, da-na-na. You've got the house music going as well. And Jay, just what a change from what we saw in the first half. 10-6 ball game. Not necessarily the identity of Delaware State that we expected to see from rushing the football. Norfolk State stood on their head and did a great job defensively.
The ruling on the field of a completed catch is upheld.
Well, thank you for that information. It seemed pretty obvious to me, but you understand why you want to challenge in that situation. And, you know, I think if Norfolk State, if you look at them, what do they need to do moving forward? They've got some skill position guys. The wide receivers and Kendrick and Evans, those guys are really good. Throwing some Cameron Thomas and King at the running back position along with Evans. They just have to shore things up front a little bit, but I think they have to become a passing team first right now. They don't have the ability to just push teams away at the line of scrimmage.
Down by 2 scores, being chased out the pocket. Coombs can't complete the pass as a flag is there. So it was Hebert who was providing the pressure up front to the QB, coming down from his safety position, and then Gibson on the outside guarding the receiver.
Pass interference, defense, number 29, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
See Hebert with the pursuit there, able to nip at the heels and just got there too early for the pass interference call and turning the jersey around. That is definitely pass interference. But how about the coaches thinking about Anthony Hebert when they raved about him being the hardest hitter in the secondary, aggression. You saw right there, able to chase down the quarterback and force Coombs to get rid of the football.
California product, JUCO, Division II, now at Del State. Otto Coombs on first down. after the penalty, and Drayshawn Kendrick, they target him once again, this time the reception for the senior wide receiver, 16 yards.
Have a little tempo. You need to have a little sense of urgency right now. 5 minutes to go, you need to score, but you score quickly, because if your defense gets a stop, the clock won't be your enemy in trying to tie this football game. They let almost 30 seconds go on the game clock.
Play action, and they get Akeem Wright, the big tight end out of Norfolk, and another first down. So now let's see if they move with a greater sense of urgency. Again, trailing by 2 scores, but now out of this one, you've got a full complement of 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute timeout in this fourth quarter.
It's taking them a minute to run 2 plays. You know, when you're in the trail position, that's too much time. That is too much time. This ball should have been snapped 20 seconds ago.
Intercepted in the end zone, snatched out of the air. And Ellis is there for the INT in the end zone. Tamir Ellis.
And Coons had the receiver there, but he just went there too late. Left side of your screen, if you stick it right now, that's a touchdown. But you allowed the sloth cornerback to come in to the play, didn't account for him, and intercept that pass.
First turnover of the night, and a costly one there for Otto Coons in the Norfolk State Spartans. That was the time that the Spartans were hoping to cut this lead in half. Instead, it's the Swarm squad who comes up with a pick. Marquise Gillis on the carry. And a flag out here.
How many penalties have we seen tonight?
17, 18 in total with this one right here.
After play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 69. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, 77 defense. Those penalties canceled. Result of the play is a second down. That is their first unsportsmanlike towards ejection.
That's Justice Johnson, number 69, the heart of this team, the leader of this team, according to Coach Jack. You see right here getting tangled up and getting all the jersey of Major Dillard. It's pulling it up in his face. And 11, Stewart again with the reception.
Of course, hey, another penalty.
Jay, I was going to say, you guessed it. There's a flag.
Good look at Nemo Washington, the offensive
Personal
coordinator.
Foul, face mask, defense, number 4. 15-yard penalties added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Just unfortunate reaching back. That was Khalif Jemison. Got his hand caught in the face mask for the penalty on Norfolk State.
Against his former team. Played at Delaware State before transferring over. Went to Michael Vick camps growing up. And when you think about just the Spartans and where they go from here. This is a learning year. And a chance for Michael Vick to really assess where his team is and what the team needs are moving forward. Meanwhile, Jay, what makes it so interesting for Delaware State is taking a look at their remaining schedule. We'll be in Baltimore.
Timeout, Norfolk State has a second timeout of the half.
For that game against
Please
Morgan
reset
State.
the game clock to 3-0-2.
They'll move to 2-0 today.
3-0-2.
And then they've got 3 games remaining in conference, and all very winnable. Can they win the MEAC?
I mean, you just have a feeling that lots going to be on the line November 22nd when they play the defending MEAC champions in South Carolina State, who's starting to play their best brand of football. But one thing I can tell you about D-Jack, his boys aren't going to back down from anybody. They feel like they can play with anybody. They've been tested, battle tested. They're a tough out for anybody. And just the MEAC just seems so open this year. You know, you wonder, is this going to be a year where a team doesn't go undefeated to win the conference? Can you win it with 1 loss?
Well, we came on the air talking about this dynamic duo and the magic that they had in Eagles uniforms. 13 times these two connected for touchdowns, 3 NFC East titles, and the number of like 80+ yard passes from Michael Vick to Deshaun Jackson. You just keep adding them up. They were spectacular together. You add to that LaShawn McCoy, running back, Jeremy Macklin. And Deshaun Jackson said, look, Michael Vick was like a hero watching him play growing up, and the brotherhood that they have has been special to see, not only on the field, but now in the coaching ranks.
Timeout, Norfolk State has a second timeout to have. 30-second timeout.
You get the feeling that they love Michael Vick in that Tidewater area down there. So he's going to get some guys around him. You know, he was a legend at Virginia Tech, then the Atlanta Falcons, and then comeback player of the year in the NFL for the Philadelphia Eagles. And you're just taking his lumps right now, but you just have a feeling with everybody in that area and the local kids that want to play for him, brighter days are coming ahead for Michael Vick as the head coach of Norfolk State.
You know what he said is former coach Andy Reid would tell him right about now if he would ask him about this, start to the season, not necessarily going the way he wants. He says, you know what? Find a way to fix it. That's the advice that Andy Reid has given in the past, and here it holds true. And so now you look at the remaining schedule for the Spartans. They'll go to Durham to face off against North Carolina Central, and then they'll close out the last 2 games of the season at home against Morgan State and Howard.
They'll try to find a way to play spoiler for somebody, and any given day, if a team takes them lightly, Norfolk State still has to put it together and play a complete game of football, which is something they really haven't done this season.
Marquise Gillis is swung down, and one thing you can say about this
timeout,
Norfolk State defense
final timeout of the half, the 30-second
is that they've really found a way to come alive here. So this is a building point for you if you're Michael Vick and staff.
Yeah, coming in, the question was, how was Norfolk State going to stop this Delaware State rushing attack? And they answered that. They found some players that can stop the run. They played with a lot of heart and did really good. And there was 1 or 2 explosive plays that separated them. Offense didn't do them any favors, and special teams with the block punt. But you can see the improvement. I see a better football team than we saw to start off the season in Norfolk State.
Well, Dr. Melody Webb, VP of Athletics, who hired Michael Vick, believes in his ability to turn things around for Norfolk State. That punt blocked. We've seen the 2 block punts tonight, 1 for each side. Norfolk State's going to have great starting field position here. They've spent all their timeouts. They do have the 2-minute timeout remaining. Another look here as Dyson Roberts tried to get it away. And then just getting a hand on that was Caleb Gilmore. And Jason Swindell on the recovery.
Big fella, Swindell boxing out, leaving his feet to get that recovery there. And now, your Otto Coons, forget about that last interception. You got the ball back down by 14. Forget about it. Come out throwing it. Figure out a way to get a quick strike to score. And maybe just give yourself a chance to try and sneak your way back into this ball game.
Let's see what offensive coordinator Brian Shepard dials up here from the 45 of Delaware State. They elect to run the football, and good pad level there from Xavion Evans. So picking up the first down, that's going to stop the clock temporarily. They'll spot the ball.
But get to the line of scrimmage. See, you can tell from Coons as he's walking to the line of scrimmage, there's no urgency. They're not saying, hey, hurry up, let's get set. You can tell if a team is doing tempo by the quarterback's demeanor. And Coons just walking up to the line of scrimmage.
Low snap handle, pass incomplete. Evans the target. So again, the 2-minute timeout just around the corner. If you're Michael Vick, you want to see your team punch this one into the end zone. And give him a chance. Is Teron Biles Walker, first time with the reception tonight. Another first down here. And brother of Olympian Simone Biles. 2-minute timeout here. We'll take a break here from the link. Come back with us for the final 2 minutes. RSCC Saturday on ABC. The college football triple header coming your way. Arch Manning, can he clear concussion protocol as number 20 Texas hosts 9th-ranked Vanderbilt. Then Florida, Georgia going head-to-head. The 5th-ranked Bulldogs will meet at a neutral site in Jacksonville. And 18th-ranked Oklahoma going to Rocky Top to take on Tennessee. But coming up after this one, a little volleyball action for you out of the WCC. The last 2 champions out of the conference, Loyola Marymount and Pepperdine, going head-to-head. Jay,
I'm a West Coast guy.
Okay.
So, question for you. What are the mascots for both of those schools?
I have.
One of them was showing on the screen, too.
Oh,
Pepperdine by the ocean. They're located on the ocean. What do you see in the ocean?
Waves?
Waves.
Okay.
Pepperdine Waves. LMU Lions.
Okay.
Marymount Lions.
I just like the waves.
Like the waves,
it fits, right? It fits the area, it fits the
one of the
team.
most beautiful campuses you will see.
Yes, now I have seen it.
Yes.
But thank you for my West Coast expert.
Well, you can help me out with all those Florida schools. I can't keep track of North, Central, South.
Here on 2nd and 5, Coons looking as a man underneath. Another first down completed. J.J. Evans, who's been the favorite target tonight.
Look at Coons. Walk into the line of scrimmage again. Where is the sense of urgency? And not just put it on Coons. It's got to be with the offensive coordinator, too. They're slowing this thing down, but these are valuable seconds. What if you get an onside kick and you recover?
Instead, a little reverse action and trying to find some room to run is Kendrick, and he's stopped. And no timeouts to go, and the clock continues to run as Deshaun Biggs makes the play.
That was a poor man's version of the Philly special. That just didn't go there. They covered the quarterback, the secondary receiver, nothing there at all.
Maybe they could get close enough for a tush push.
Yeah.
Coons wrapped up momentarily, wiggles away from the defender, has plenty of time looking into the end zone, and connects with Kendrick for the touchdown. First hauled in tonight for Kendrick, and his 4th of the season from 11 yards out.
These are just good job of escaping the would-be tackler. They're just looking, and guys just keep moving, nowhere to go, and he just throws a rocket to the back portion of the end zone for the score.
And again, Jay, to your point, the desired outcome for Norfolk State, but a lot of time went off the clock in the process.
They didn't make it easy for themselves, and you kind of had the feeling they were throwing the ball enough where they may catch a break and get into the end zone, but less than a minute to go.
Kick is up and through, so one score separating these two. As Deshaun Kendrick receiving that touchdown dart from Otto Coons, who was 222 of 34 tonight, better than 300 yards and 3 TD passes. And James Jones, who really had that big burst, explosive play. And again, so different than the first 2 quarters of this game. Jekyll and Hyde, as everybody made their adjustments. Marquise Gillis was a key contributor on the ground, as we know exactly what Gillis can do. The Rock, and then Caden Bennett, who was the best rusher in FCS. And they just lower the shoulder and make it difficult for you. More than 200 yards on the ground, a big chunk right here from that 76-yard dash from James Jones.
And they showed who they were in the second half. They got back on track. They averaged 315 yards rushing a game. In the first half was not their typical Delaware State football, but in the second half, they showed the Hornet way. A couple key runs.
First onside kick of the season attempted by Norfolk State in the sure hands of DeMar Jackson, the up man, and He hauls it in and secures it. And Delaware State is just gonna try to take a couple knees and finish this thing out. Caden Bennett, 16 of 18 tonight, 158 yards and a touchdown for the graduate student out of Reno, Nevada. And Jay, as the final minute ticks off here, this Delaware State team is dangerous, yes, because of their running attack, but did you learn anything more about them here tonight?
Well, they can win a tough ball game. You know, they've been in a number of close contests. They've won one or two, lost a couple, but you just want to see the team continue to improve in their style. I think they throw the ball a little bit better and give it credit for. We saw how efficient Bennett was in this game. Pretty complete team.
And the swagger of Deshaun Jackson has everybody believing his Hornets are for real. From underdog to headline, Delaware State keeps turning heads. They moved to 2-0 in the MEAC, and tonight bested his former teammate, Michael Vick. The Hornets sending a message to doubters and to the conference that Delaware State has arrived, Jay.
Yeah. That hug right there says a 1,000 words, you know. So often you see the picture, the coaches hug real quick, but that's genuine love for each other and pull for each other throughout it all. And that's why we're here in Philadelphia. We came to see these two face off. Interesting ball game, but right now Deshaun Jackson still can't say enough about the job he's done with this Delaware State Hornet program.
They said for 60 minutes they would put their friendship and brotherhood to the side, and then you see the respect and love once the clock hit all zeros. First time that they have been 2-0 in conference play since 2007, which is when they brought in their last MEAC championship.
The old squad led by all-conference player, the offensive player of the year guy by the name of Shahir McBride. Their standout wide receiver when they won the MEAC and advanced to the playoffs. They still got a chance. Undefeated in conference play. Nobody saw this coming.
And they hoist Coach Jack on their shoulders as he says, "The link, it's my house, y'all." All smiles, and what a remarkable turnaround we have seen for Delaware State. He walked into a tough situation, knew that it was going to be a tough job. He says, you know what? I've done tough my entire life. I know how to handle this. Meanwhile, for Michael Vick, the rebuild continues. It's going to be an uphill battle, a steady process, but he's determined to stay the course. Coach Jack taking the run down the field towards the approaching storm to sing the alma mater. What a night it has been here in the link as the Eagles' former sons return home. An entertaining second half of football, and it's Delaware State that comes out on top 27-20. For Jay Walker and the rest of our great crew here, we're letting you know we out from the link, but stay tuned because we've got Loyola Marymount and Pepperdine volleyball coming your way. We'll see you. We out from Philly.